Hey guys, it's the Xbox Nut, and it is finished. My new project is finished. Only took me about a week, I reckon, because every now and then I'd spend a bit of time with it and then take the next day off and just leave it for a bit. But in total it took about a week, and I'm pretty pleased with it. So we've got our 4-bit inputs here, 2 of them. We've got our little bed chest thing, our opcode entry, deciding what we want to do. And we've got our output screen here, and that was awkward. So let's do a couple of demonstrations. Opcode add, I suppose. Let's add 4 plus 3, 7. Let's add another 4. Yay, 11. So let's do ORing. What that means is, I think I've told you this before, if either of the inputs are on, then the output's on. So because these 3 are all on, but this one isn't, those 3 will be on. If I turned one of them on, it doesn't matter, because that one's still on. So it has an output of 1. And if I turned one of these on, the output will go 1 there. Let's do ANDing, which is the same thing as ORing, apart from they both have to be on, so none of them are both on, so it's all zeros. Turn that one on and that one on, 2 of them will be on. There you go. And if I turn that one on as well. Not if I did this one, because it's not ANDing with the top one. Let's do NOTing, which is a 1 and 2 zeros, a 4. So let this, I've got a little notepad thing here. It says NOTing and shifting. These only use the top value, ignore bottom. So it will not the top row, which is currently a 0, 1, 1, 1, and it's being inverted to a 1, 0, 0, 0. So let's turn them all on. Likewise, all the things will be off, and the middle 2 off, and the middle 2 will come on the screen. Let's do subtracting. Now this one is quite tricky because I came through a couple of bugs and it was quite annoying. But let's not subtract 15. Let's subtract 10, little voice crack, 10 from 12. So 8 and 4 is 12. And 10 is an 8 and a 2. So that should give us 2. There you go. Let's subtract 12 from 13. And we have a 1. And let's subtract 14 from 15. And we still have a 1. Subtracting 15 from 15 leaves us with 0. Subtracting 15 from 14 leaves us 15 apparently. I'm not quite sure about how you read negative numbers in binary. I know there's like a code way to read it, but I haven't been bothered to research into it. I think it's like 2's complement, some sort of binary pattern, but it does work, as I've just shown. So 15 minus 11 is 4. And let's move on to the next one. Let's go to shifting left. This essentially divides. Sorry, it multiplies. Again, shifting. These only use the top value, ignore the bottom. So shifting 15, multiplying it by 2, because this is why. Shifting a number, I think I told you this in the last video, but shifting a number left will multiply it by 2 to the power of however many times you shifted it. So since I'm shifting it 1 time, 1 digit, 1 bit, it's timesing it by 2 to the power of 1. Yeah, which is 2. So it multiplies it by 2. 15 times 2 is 16, plus 8, 24, plus 4, 28, plus 2, 30. So 15 times 2 is 30. Stupid chicken. And then let's multiply 13 by 2, which becomes 16 plus 8, 24, plus 2, 26. 13 times 2 is 26. Literally, it just shifts them. So 1101 becomes 11010. And then if we shift it right, it does exactly the same thing, but as you can see here, cannot input an odd number. Ones are ignored, because you can't divide an odd number by 2 using binary. Well, you probably can, but not using my screen. So I have to just turn that off because it doesn't make a difference. But as you can see, 8 plus 4, 12, divided by 2 is 4 plus 2, which is 6. So that's the demonstration. All the commands work. And now I'm just going to get some dirt, get a high view of the whole machine. So as you can see, it is considerably smaller than any other ALUs, mainly because it's 4-bit obviously, but taking into account how big ALUs usually are, even if you had 4 of these in a line in rows, 16-bit would be quite small. It does have 7 functions. Some people's CPUs only have 4 that they can only read, write, copy and add or whatever. Mine has 7, and it's reasonably effective. This is really not compacted to the best. Like obviously one line gap there doesn't really make a difference, but if you took every gap that there was and added them all together, you get maybe 10 or 15 blocks off the actual size. So I'm really happy with this. And the decoder is underground, and I had a request from someone asking for the schematic, so I'll post that. It's only 3-bit, but you're not often going to encounter needing more than 7 functions. Maybe you might want 8, but you can just use a 000 from this decoder. I just think 4-bit's a bit extreme. I might add memory, which would be quite easy considering I've had a lot of practice with it, which would just save this output to some screen here probably. And maybe in the future I'd add an accumulator which would save it into a register, and then you could perform functions in the register. So let's just be naughty and destroy that and this, and we're going to follow this down to my decoder room. Huge room. Dun -dun -dun. These are the 3 inputs. That's the decoder, and these are the enablers of the functions. So there are 8 outputs. One of them doesn't do anything. 000. This is the add, this is the OR, this is the AND, this is the invert, this is the subtract, this is the shift left, this is the shift right. Yeah. So at the moment it's shifting right. And likewise these are the functions, and that's all it is really. It's just a decoder with 3 lines of redstone going into each part of the decoder. Each of the outputs of the decoder going into AND gates, which are also ANDed with the outputs of a function. And to be honest, if you're wondering, all I did for the functions was use my own knowledge. I knew basic logic functions like ORing and ANDing and adding, and all you need to do is think about how you'd make them. So obviously for ORing, you don't really need OR gates. Now I always see people making OR gates, but it just doesn't make sense because all an OR gate is 2 wires connecting. So I just connected my wires, and it's an ORer. It takes the values, and if one of them's on, the output's on. For the ANDing, you just use an AND gate. Let's see. For the inverting, you literally just invert it. Subtracting. Now there's a page on binary subtracting and other binary functions. If you'd like it, I will put it in the description. That's quite handy. You have to add. You have a 4-bit adder, or in my case 4-bit. Invert all of the inputs and add 1. So you don't start with a half adder. You start with 4 full adders, and then the carry in of the first adder is permanently on. And then shifting left and shifting right is just literally shifting it left and shifting it right. So that is my 4-bit ALU complete. I thought I did it pretty efficiently, pretty quickly, pretty well. I'd love to hear your feedback. Please like it, thumbs up, rate, comment, subscribe. Message me with any feedback you have, any advice, any questions. I'm happy to help anyone, and please give me some feedback. I'm really happy with this, and I hope you are too. So thank you very much for watching.